Welcome to the Family First Retirement Podcast with George Politarhos. For more information, visit betrayawealth.com. Now, let's get to the show.
A little Hall & Oates for you. Somebody's listening right now going, wait a minute, what am I doing here? I thought I was here at Family First Retirement. I'm ready to get on a boat, put my captain's hat on. First and foremost, George, hope you're having a great weekend playing a little Hall & Oates because it's a couple of months ago we got to hang out with John Oates up at CRS in Nashville, man. Recapping that, how much fun was that?
That was a great experience. Really, it was a good opportunity to sit down and talk with him and to hear about how he manages and why he got to be where he is.
Yeah.
It was a great conversation.
He talked about his longtime partnership with Daryl Hall that gave him the opportunity of freedom.
Not many people get that. And I think if you asked any artist what would be their ultimate goal, they would probably say creative freedom. Well, I do have it. I'm not bragging. I'm just stating a fact. And so because of that, I get to do what I want. And getting to do what you want in this world is a very precious and rare thing, So I'm very grateful for it. I don't take it for granted. And I think that's why I work so hard, because I want to make sure that I don't squander this unique opportunity.
You're our Daryl Hall, George Politarhos. You can help build those plans to give us those opportunities of freedom. Talk about that partnership.
It's so true. It's about making the right choice. It's your partner in life. I'm lucky to have a great spouse. My wife, Leslie's just fantastic. And it was making the right choice. Just like it's making the right choice for taking the step for your financial comfort in life, moving forward. Daryl Hall and John Oates, they made a lot of great music, had some tough times, and they ended up parting ways. A marriage is the same way. There's good times, there's bad times, but you work through it together. Just like when we work with our clients here at Betraya Wealth, we're working through those bad times. There's times when you're not sure what happened. Am I going to be able to retire? How's it going to work, George? Making some choices about Roth conversions maybe, but putting a plan together to get you to where you need to be. We just sit there and we always talk about having a cup of coffee. That reminds me of my mom, my dad, sitting on Sunday morning at the table, having a cup of coffee, homemade bread, feta cheese, and olives. When you come in here, we're going to have a cup of coffee and just have that conversation to find out what's going on, where you're trying to go, and to make sure you're making the right choices and let us help you get there.
So if you're listening this weekend, maybe you are sitting around the coffee table, getting your weekend started. You reach out to the team, 302-330-2166. You schedule that no-cost, no-obligation Family First Retirement Plan with George Politarhos and the team at Betraya Wealth. George, it's worth noting, too, that it's not always puppies and unicorns and sunshine, just like in the partnership of a music duo, just like in a partnership in a relationship. Sometimes, George, you're going to be the bad guy.
I am. It's not a great position. I feel as though I'm a parent.
Yep.
And the reason I say that is I have Alex and Jared, my two sons, who are just fantastic. I'm so glad they're with me in the practice now. But, your friends, when you're younger, tell you everything's great. You got to see in the test, great job. You tried your best. And then mom and dad come over and they sit there like, that was not, you didn't do your best. This is wrong. Get get back to work. And let's do this again. Because that's what parents do. When they love you, they have unconditional love.
Amen.
When I work with my family members, my clients at Betraya Wealth, sometimes I got to tell them the things they don't necessarily want to hear. Last week, we had a lady come in. She's a federal employee and she has years of service and she has her retirement age that she can retire. And she was very happy when she came in. And after running through the numbers, unfortunately, I gave her the information that she wasn't really happy about. And she said, well, my friend said I have the age I can retire. And my answer is, you're right, you can retire if you want to. Financially, you can't. And I gave her the scenarios and she wasn't happy with me. But I think it's important that she left here with the truth. She left here and there wasn't someone holding her hand, misleading her.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you the glass is always half full. I'm not going to mislead you. Good, bad, or indifferent. When you leave my office, you're going to know the facts about where you are, what's going on, and the probability of having a problem down the road or having a good retirement. You've worked for 30 years. How many hours, Mark, we talk about?
90,000 hours.
90,000 hours. Yeah. Think about that. We're going to make a rash decision and not plan all the way through that to make sure those next 90,000 hours in retirement are outstanding. Come on. There's people, and I'm glad I'm not in this group, that are in bad marriages. And they're in a bad marriage for 3, 4, 5 years, and they stick it out even longer, unfortunately. You're in a job, you're not happy, you want to retire. You can't stick it out 3 more years to make sure you're in the right place for the rest of your life? Let's look at the plan and let's put that plan together to help you succeed. These are the things we have those conversations, because I think what separates Betrayal Wealth from everyone else is I'm not here to do a transactional arrangement with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that means just do something, push it outside and say goodbye. A couple weeks ago was tax season, and our business relationship with Ernie Callias, who's our in-house CPA and our business partner, he was doing taxes up to the last minute for clients because it's about the whole plan. It's about the long-term care fixture, right? We don't want to think about, we got to talk about long-term care. Taxes are pretty damn important, especially now during retirement. We talk about Social Security. You supposed to have tax out of Social Security? Maybe. We're going to give you the answers. We're going to give you that plan for income, retirement, and satisfaction for the rest of your life. Swing by the office here at 501 Silverside Road in Wilmington, or give me a call, 302-330-2166. Just have a conversation, and let's start the process. Let's start a date, our first date together. We won't be drinking liquor, maybe we will, but we'll be having a cup of coffee, a glass of water, just getting to know each other, see where we can go.
And a special shout out, George Politarhos, this weekend to our federal employees, because there are strategies specifically for those adults that you work with on a daily basis.
Absolutely. You do so much of the work and carry us and help us get to a better life with the government, because there's so much involved. And unfortunately, a lot of federal employees don't understand how their benefits work for them. I'm always astonished by this, Mark. They've worked in the federal government for 30 years, and they don't know when they can retire, how much it's going to cost them to retire, what's their pension look like, what's their 401k, their version is a TSP. How do I manage? What about my spouse? And I got to make sure you understand, because we specialize in the federal employees, but we do the whole group of people across the board, not just federal employees. But that problem we just talked about, when I can retire, how much my pension, my 401k is going to be, when to turn on Social Security, is not just unique to federal employees. There's people working down the road at Boeing and at DuPont and you name it, who don't understand what their benefits are. They don't understand how they're going to be able to get to the right place. You know, the hospitals in our area right now are under attack, right? We have Christiana Hospital down the road. We have Crozier, who may not be here soon. We have Taylor Hospital in Delaware County. Those professionals need the assistance to understand where you're going. And when you come here at Betrayal Wealth, you're going to meet with me and my team, and we're going to help you get through that more than confused, scary time.
Yep.
Because retirement overall is gray. Not really sure what we have, when we can retire, what it's going to cost us. We're going to make it black and white, especially now during these turbulent times of retirement for folks. Take the 5 minutes, pick up the phone and give us a call. And we're not saying you got to meet us today on Saturday or Sunday, but let's set up the time to have that conversation. It doesn't go away, folks. Mm-mm. You know, you sit there, you don't pay that tax bill. If you didn't pay your tax bill, give them back a couple weeks. They'll forget about my money. No, they don't. Mm-hmm. I'll push off retirement for another day. No, it doesn't work that way. Because if there's a problem, would you rather know about sooner or later?
Pull that Band-Aid off. It's going to be a little painful, yeah.
Because we have time to make corrections. If we're not lined up correctly, we have time to get where we have to be. But it starts with you picking up the phone and giving us a call, or going to Portria Wealth, PATRIA Wealth.com, and setting up that no cost, no obligation meeting.
I know you have a special place in your heart for our teachers and our first responders as well, and you work with them, every single day of the year. So a special shout out to our teachers. God bless you, our first responders out there as well. Invite you to call at any time.
I got to tell you, Mark, when I was going to college, went to college in 1983, I wanted to be a history teacher. Mm-hmm. I wanted to have a degree as a history teacher, coach high school football, and help affect people. I see the teachers today, and I say, oh, my God, I couldn't do this.
Nope.
And I love my kids. My boys are, but to have 30 of them in the class,
nope.
I'd be like, you are dumb. What are you talking about? You know, I would be beyond. And these teachers are truly working their butts off to help us. Our nurses out there, and what can I say? Policemen and firemen, God bless you.
Yeah.
You are truly the greatest
heroes,
human
baby.
beings that are possibly. You are. You don't wear a cape, but you definitely are a hero for us. So thank you for everything.
Go back to the teachers. My little sister's a teacher. My mother-in-law was a teacher. My sister-in-law is a teacher. Now I understand more than ever the importance of wine time After dealing with our kids, I get it, and we love you. Again, and we invite you to reach out to George and the team to talk about your specific strategies, 302-330-2166. And George, I mean, this year, more than 4 million adults will reach the age of 65. That's a wave of retirements that people are going to start clocking out for the last time. And George, you just mentioned it. People come in to you and they call every weekend and they just ask the simple question, can I retire? When somebody asks you that question, what are some of the boxes you look at to check before giving the right answer? Because you're not just going to say, oh, yeah, we can make it happen. There are specific, quote unquote, boxes that you look at.
Absolutely. And that number, 4 million, is 11,000 people a day.
Woo!
First thing we always want to say is, obviously, where are you working at? Did you talk to your husband or wife yet? I think that's important to find out as a team if it's okay with the other one to retire. I'm lucky. Leslie's retired. I think it's 23 days and she's retired. So I'm really happy for her to be able to do that. But we're going to talk about the things like, well, we need to know what you're doing. How much have you saved for retirement? Do you have a pension through your retirement, through your employer? Do you have an old 401k maybe that you forgot about over the years? Because we got to recuperate those funds. How about this? Have you looked into Medicare? What's it going to be for you? Able to carry your insurance over? It doesn't just happen, right? People think, well, I turn 65, they automatically sign me up for Medicare Part A and Part B. Well, no, they don't. Do they have to sign up for Medicare Part A and Part B? Yes, no, we have to talk about that. That's a huge, and that, folks, I got to be honest, I think next week, Mark, we should have Angie on here with us.
Sure.
Only because it is the most scariest thing in the world. I went to college, at my degree, not being a history teacher. I was like, I wanted to be. I was told I was going to be an accountant. I am not an accountant, okay? But I understand accounting. I understand taxes on the level. The Medicare, I have my licenses in it. That's why Angie's here. Angie is outstanding with those Medicare questions. Do I take a Medicare Advantage? Do I take a supplement? I'm getting less healthy. What do I look at? That's another huge part we're going to address. And then, of course, we're going to talk expenses with you, because some of the expenses you have when you're 45 and 50, you're not going to have when you're 75 and 80. Mm-hmm. So we want to make sure we understand our expenses and how much money's coming in, which bucket's going to come from, how we're going to fund our retirement. Those are those questions that we have to answer and to make sure you're lined up for, because it's not Mark and I play golf, not very good, but we play golf and we have a lot of mulligans. This is not a mulligan, folks, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a redo. If I goof it up and I'm not happy, I go back to work. Why? Yep. That's what you want to do right the first time. And when you call me and my team here at Portrayal Wealth, we're going to help you and give you the answers you need to get where you're going. 302-330-2166.
I don't want to put too much of your business out there, George, but there may be an opportunity coming up later this summer for all of us to play a little horrible golf together with the families you serve and to help support the community as well. That's all I'm saying.
That's very true.
Still crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
It will be. We're going to let more information come out as we get closer. It'll be for one of the greatest causes and group of people in our country.
Amen.
That are underserved, underappreciated. And we'll give you that teaser right now. Keep the last Monday in August open.
Just throwing it out.
And we'll go from there.
That's all we're saying. You want to see?
Guess what? You'll get a chance to meet Mark Owens, the filthy Atlanta Braves fan, who right now is wearing a Phillies white hat.
It's Puma.
On his head.
It's Puma. The P stands for Puma. What else would it stand for?
No, it doesn't. It stands for Phillies.
God, I cannot wait to play 18 with you, because here's what's going to happen. And we invite y'all to join us for this great event. Again, more details coming. We'll give you plenty of time to get registered to lock in the date. We want you to be a part of this. But you're going to see Fat Joey from Friends and a guy that looks like Fred Flintstone trying to play golf. It's going to be so much fun.
Mark, you're too kind with yourself. You're going to see Fat Joey from Friends and George Politarhos. And you're going to see a human thumb walk by, and that's Mark Owens.
Again, a thumb sticking out of a box. These are the two people you get to play golf with. More details coming up. 302-330-2166. You become part of the family when you work with George Politarhos and the team at the Portrayal Wealth Group. As he just mentioned, Angie, Ernie Colias is the in-house CPA, and he knows that taxes are not one time a year. Taxes are year-round. Killies is there. Of course, Jared is there. The entire team. Meet them at PortrayalWealth.com, P-A-T-R-I-A Wealth.com.
And Alex.
And Alex, don't forget about Alex. And then your soon-to-be intern, little Archer, the grandbaby.
Oh, my gosh. He came to visit Pops last week.
Yeah.
Worked with Pop Pool, so we're good to go.
We talk about every week here, the Betraya in Greek, it means family. And you really live this because you're a new grandfather. So you're a doting grandfather. We talk about Angie. Angie has been there with Medicaid. She understands it. You've got Jared that works for the team, your son. It's all encompassing at the Betraya Wealth Group. You're very lucky to have this many people working for you and with you.
Well, I'm really lucky because the younger guys, Jared and Alex, they see it. They understand that that generation is not going to have Social Security like we know it, folks.
Right.
So when you have your grandchildren, you have your children here, and children not being 25, 30, or 10, but even being those children that are 40, need the guidance. They still have time to set up, as we do, a lot of in-service pension planning for them. And the kids, and I call them kids, they'll always be boys to me, my children, but they understand that concept. They have pensions already started that Leslie and I started for them 5, 6, 8 years ago. And they understand that, and they can relate to the younger people. I have Jared and Alex say things to me all the time. And folks, if you can relate to this, raise your hand in the car at the table right now, or give me a call at 302-330-2166. They use phrases and stuff, and I swear I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And I look there like, what's that mean?
Skibby to Riz, no cap. You know what I'm saying? Straight bussing.
No, I don't understand that. I have no clue.
Because you're an adult.
But that's why we have the adult. That's why we have them here, because they do see it, and they are that technology savvy.
Yep.
We have the blend, the mix with Achilles, Angie, myself, Ernie, Alex, Jared. The team's here to help you get to where you need to be. So call us at 302-330-2166, and maybe you can explain the terms they're saying to me. Maybe they're telling me something I don't want to hear, but that's what I need you to help me with.
Great, and it's also a great succession plan, too, for the Betraya Wealth Group, too, because eventually, George, we want him to retire. We want him to spend all of his hard work, spend those days reflecting on his life's work. But that doesn't mean the Betraya Wealth Group is going anywhere. They live here, they work here, they play here. So when you call that number, 302-330-2166, you're not calling a big box firm in Chicago, New York, Atlanta, L.A., you're calling the team that serves Wilmington, New Jersey, Maryland, Dover, and the surrounding areas. Again, that number, 302-330-2166. Hey, let's talk about lazy money for a second there, because you mentioned that part of the conversation. So somebody hears that and they go, I've heard lazy money. I think I have lazy money. I don't know exactly what it is. Define it for me a little more specifically so I understand if I have it and how it's working either for me or against me.
Sure. Lazy money, also known as dead money, is money that we just have sitting there and it's doing zero for us or very little for us. A lot of times that's old 401ks, Mark. You worked at XYZ and you had that job and you worked there for 5, 6 years. You went ahead and moved someplace else, maybe worked there 5, 6 years, moved someplace else. The old 401ks that stayed there, a lot of times we lost contact. They didn't do anything for us. And think about it from an employer point of view. There's a fee to manage 401ks, 403bs. There's a fee associated. The employer a lot of times absorbs that fee and they help with it. But you don't work there anymore. Why would they care about you? I look at this. You don't work for Jones and Jones anymore.
Yeah.
Why would you leave your money with them? That's your money. You want to come and work for you. You want to take control of your money and move it out. Lazy money, dead money is probably sitting in a savings account. We have customers come in $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in savings accounts, and we need liquidity. I get that 100%. Not that much because it's doing zero for me. We have instruments that will give you the safety you need, give you growth that you need, manage funds, because we need safety. We also still need in retirement, whether we're 50, 60, 70, 80, we still need growth. We still need some risk, right? Risk is good as long as it's managed risk, proportionate risk, understanding what the pros and cons are, having a balanced attack, because you need those buckets of income in retirement. You need to have the emergency funds, not $500,000 in emergency funds, about 8-9% of your portfolio, where it's quickly liquid, that if Alex or Jarrett need something, I can tap it right now and my kids have what they need. You need some safety money that's going to give you protection against the market volatilities. So the market's down 5, 10, 15%. I don't care, because I'm here at zero. The worst I'll do is zero. I never lose money. I share in the upsides. And then you need money that's at risk in the stock market, proportioned to how you sleep at night. And when I say that phrase, folks, it's when I know I'm worried about something, I wander my house. I don't sleep real well.
Yeah.
If I'm worried about anything, I get up, me and the dogs wander the house together, the 3 mastiffs, and we have snacks. I don't want you to do that. I want you to do it because you want to have a snack, not because you're not sleeping. So you need that managed risk that we outperform the S&P 500 with less volatility, more protection. On the upside, if the market's making 12, 13%, we're at 14, 15. When it's down, like it's been the last month, and you're down 8, 9, 10, 12%, we're down 2, 3, 4%. But it has to be proportionate, and you have to be something you're comfortable with. And that's what we do here at Portrayal Wealth. I said earlier, there's a lot of transactional advisors out there. Mm-hmm. They do that trade, and they don't know what the heck your name is after that. That's not the way my company works. We are a family at Portrayal Wealth. Portrayal means family. You come in here, and Mark will attest to this, you come in and you get that hug from us because you're part of our big fat Greek family. We're going to make sure your taxes are done right. We're going to make sure Medicare is lined up. We're going to make sure your children are prepared for you. We're going to talk about long-term care. We're going to talk about Social Security. Maybe you have it today. It may not be there tomorrow, have a reduction. We're planning for the worst case scenario because at the end of the day, it's about you and your family.
Yep.
It's about able to do what you want, when you want, how you want to. Preparing for the worst case scenario is my job. Let me not sleep tonight worrying about you. Mm-hmm. Your job is to say, how am I going to do X, Y, and Z? When's the trip coming? And how am I going to enjoy my life? That's what an advisory firm does. It gets you to live your dreams and do what you want to. Whether it's like our friends Susan and Charles traveling to Greece for 2 weeks, that's what we help do. We maintain and we go. Think about this for a second. While you're working, what are you doing? You're that squirrel that's putting all the nuts together and you're trying to build a really huge pile of walnuts and nuts for the winter, right? It's a huge mound you built. And now you get older, you're a little bit slower as a squirrel. You're not contributing anymore to that pile. The job now is to maintain that. You had the wealth build stage, and now it's maintaining the wealth. And we're in the wealth management business for you. Our job is to maintain your lifestyle, maintain what you've worked so damn hard for, that you sacrificed, that you didn't do the things you wanted to do, but now it's time to do it. So call me at 302-330-2166 and let us manage that for you to get you to where you need to be.
Insurance and annuities offered through George A. Politarhos, Delaware Insurance License Number 1373121. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties.